Throughout human history, the clash of arms and the thundering of war have shaped our world in ways both profound and terrible. From ancient battles fought with bronze and iron to modern conflicts waged with machines and computers, warfare has evolved alongside humanity itself. Picture yourself in ancient Mesopotamia, 3000 BCE. The first organized armies march across dusty plains, shields glinting in the sun. City-states wage war over resources and territory, setting a pattern that would echo through millennia. The Sumerian armies advance in tight formations, their spears bristling like wheat in the wind. But warfare would soon change dramatically. The Egyptian New Kingdom introduces the chariot, revolutionizing battlefield mobility. Imagine the terror of foot soldiers as these ancient tanks thunder across the battlefield, arrows raining from skilled archers perched upon them. The chariot would dominate warfare for nearly 1,000 years. Then came the Romans, masters of military organization. Their legions march across 3 continents, their standardized equipment and tactics creating the first truly professional army. The legendary Roman short sword, the gladius, becomes the symbol of an empire. But even Rome's mighty legions would eventually fall to new tactics and technologies. The Middle Ages bring the mounted knight covered in steel plate armor, seemingly invincible on the battlefield. But at Agincourt in 1415, English longbowmen prove that even the most heavily armored warrior can fall to new weapons. Their arrows darken the sky, piercing plate armor at hundreds of yards, marking the beginning of the end for mounted knights. The Germans have created many weapons like the flamethrower and the rifle. The Chinese with their cannons. The thundering sound of it shook the grounds of the 12th century. The destruction was devastating. The American Revolution was one of the most remembered war in American history. The Industrial Revolution accelerates military technology at a frightening pace. The American Civil War becomes the first truly industrial conflict. Ironclad ships, rapid-fire weapons, and railroad networks that move massive armies reshape military thinking. The casualties mount as technology outpaces tactics. World War I brings mechanized horror on an unprecedented scale. Imagine the trenches of the Western Front. Poison gas drifting across no man's land, tanks crushing barbed wire under their steel tracks, aircraft dueling in the skies above. Millions die as modern industry turns its full might to the art of destruction. Millions die as modern industry turns its full might to the art of destruction. Barely 20 years later, World War II engulfs the globe. The war introduces nuclear weapons, jet aircraft, and sophisticated code-breaking computers. Cities burn under strategic bombing campaigns. The Holocaust reveals the darkest potential of industrialized warfare and genocide. When the atomic bombs fall on Japan, humanity enters a new age of existential military threat. The Cold War that follows sees proxy conflicts rage across the globe: Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan. 2 superpowers, armed with world-ending nuclear arsenals, engage in a deadly dance of deterrence. The space race and arms race accelerate technological development, leading to innovations that would later transform civilian life. The post-Cold War era brings new forms of conflict. Precision-guided weapons, stealth technology, and cyber warfare change the nature of combat. Terrorist networks and insurgencies challenge conventional military thinking. The rise of drone warfare allows nations to wage war remotely, raising new ethical questions about the nature of combat. Today, artificial intelligence and autonomous weapon systems point toward another revolution in military affairs. Hypersonic missiles, quantum computing, and space-based weapons suggest that the pace of military innovation is still accelerating. But as we look back across the sweep of military history, certain truths remain constant. War continues to be, as Clausewitz famously stated, the continuation of politics by other means. The technology changes, but the human cost remains devastating. From bronze spears to hypersonic missiles, wars have shaped our politics, our borders, our technologies, and our cultures. The weapons grow more sophisticated, but the fundamental questions remain. When is war justified? How can peace be maintained? What role should military power play in human affairs? As we face an uncertain future, these questions become more urgent than ever. Perhaps the greatest lesson from this history of warfare is the increasing imperative to prevent it. As weapons become more powerful and conflicts more complex, the cost of warfare grows ever higher. Understanding this history might be our best hope for avoiding its repetition. The story of warfare is in many ways the story of human civilization itself, our capacity for both incredible innovation and terrible destruction. As we look to the future, the choices we make about war and peace may well determine the fate of our species. In the end, the history of warfare teaches us that while humans have proven remarkably innovative in finding ways to wage war, our greatest challenge remains finding ways to maintain peace. As technology continues to advance, this challenge becomes more critical than ever before. Remember, every weapon ever created began with the same intent: to give its wielder an advantage over others. Yet true security might ultimately lie not in superior weaponry, but in our ability to resolve conflicts without resorting to violence. This may be the most important lesson from thousands of years of warfare, and the key to our survival in the centuries to come.